Okay. I think I'm live. I have no idea how to go live or if you guys can even hear me. Let me put my volume up. Hold on. Let me actually go and let members know that I'm going live. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm live for a specific reason. Hold on. Let me see if I even am. Am I good? Sorry, you guys. I'm like terrible with this kind of stuff. Am I? Am I live? I think I am. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's going to join or not. I never give a heads up when I go live. Sorry, I literally almost never go live, but I thought that I would. I have a few exciting updates for you guys. So I'm going to share these updates with you. And then if anybody wants to pop on and ask me any questions about like health related stuff or anything like that, feel free to comment it. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have for me. I know I haven't been on here for a long time. I usually answer these kind of things anyways in the weekly video drops in the platform, but I really haven't been on YouTube in like forever. So let me share with you guys my updates. If you guys are not on my Instagram, basically, I shared recently that I'm doing an experiment with a really intensive detox. The goal with this detox program on myself is to clear out like nanotech, fogging, EMF sensitivity. You guys may or may not know my story about what happened in 2020. But anyway, regardless, it's most of the world is pretty much dealing with that now. So like some measure of nanotech poisoning, whether you got the or whatever else is happening. So I'm doing like a really intensive detoxification protocol. It's a multi-stage detox, but I want to make it really simple for people. So I'm in stage 3 right now of the detox. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to make this actually free for everybody. So it's not going to be something that's like in the Wevolve tribe. It's going to be literally like a free PDF or a free course, like a video course that I make that's going to guide people through this basically like rebirth process of healing your body from scratch, like getting all the synthetics and toxins out of your body, getting all the mucoid plaque out of your body, completely resetting and rebirthing a healthy microbiome. And then eventually like reintegration of a food regimen or whatever that's like optimal for human nutrition. So that's kind of like the concept of the protocol. So anyways, I'm excited to share that with you guys. Another update. So I wanted to pop on also, it is Black Friday weekend, and I want to make sure that I let you guys know that I just finished my brand new pet course, which is basically like how to heal your animals, cats, dogs, strays, kittens, how to transition from one diet to another, what they should be eating. And basically it's like an at-home holistic pet course. So it's everything you need to know. Like, does your pet get sprayed by a skunk? Did your pet get bit by a scorpion or stung by a scorpion? Did your, kitten throw up and you don't know if they got poisoned or what's happening? Like just basically everything you need to know. Like if you have to travel, should you microchip your pets? Like all the crazy questions that people want to know about their pets. So I just put together that pet course. So if you guys are interested, it's 50% off or 40% off right now for Black Friday, which makes it really affordable because I made it super affordable to begin with. So anyways, yeah, if you guys are interested in anything for Black Friday, then definitely check that out. I'll put the code down below in the description, but basically it's BF40. And if you go to the Wevolve shop, which I'll put the link as well, you can just basically put that discount code in for any product that you want. So, okay, the other update that I wanted to share with you guys is you are very thin. What is that about? Okay, let me answer in a minute. Really? That's like, okay. I'm just surprised by that question, but I just actually talked about that like 5 minutes ago when I was talking about my detox, but I will answer that again in a second for you. I just also wanted to give you guys one last update before I start answering questions. Which is to check out my new singing channel. I know a lot of you guys are not checking it out. Go check it out. It's super awesome. I have a lot of really cool, like very different kind of covers there. So if you are interested in that, check it out. I basically share like my personal story, the things that I'm going through, and I do it in the form of like music and covers. So if you guys are interested in something a little bit more creative, a little bit more personal to me, check that out. I'll put the link down below. The channel is called Brittany Amber Ariel. I'm actually coming out with my first like dance hit soon, so I'm really excited. Okay, so yeah, Bridget, for my weight, actually, I'm starting to gain weight again. So you should have seen me last week. It was worse. I'm doing a detox experiment where I'm basically, so I don't know, the last time I came on here live, like it's been a while since I gave you guys the update, but for anybody who's been following me in my platform or who's known what's happened over the last many years, basically I've been on a detox protocol for the better part of 3 years, trying to clear out horrible airplane fogging that left me so EMF sensitive that I haven't been able to literally leave anywhere but my house. So I am like working on a full body detox protocol now for that. I've done many things over the last 3 years, all of which have been unsuccessful, like in completely clearing out the graphene nanotech. It's basically like the same thing that happened to Batar, except he succumbed, unfortunately. It's really sad. But anyway, that's a whole separate story. But so I'm doing a full body detox. It's basically to undo what has happened over the last 3 years for people. And I'm not going to stop until I'm successful. So yeah, I just did basically a 6 weeks detox protocol to get out mucoid plaque. And basically all I did was eat no fiber and like fat and protein and a bunch of binders to try to clear out mucoid plaque in the gut because I didn't want to actually fast. So through that process, I lost a lot of weight because I'm already a thin girl. So yeah, I had to go through the detox phase, but now I'm in the rebuilding phase. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sharing a lot more about this protocol and the success of it. I've already seen a lot of success in some like really, really cool ways. So I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And the detox is going to be for free and it's going to be many stages. So people can pick and choose what they want to implement and all of that stuff. And I'll be giving like timelines. So I'm really excited. I think this is a protocol that I think is going to help a lot of humanity, actually, which is why I'm making it free also. So yeah, all right, let's see what other questions we got. Happy to have caught you live. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. What symptoms did I have? Okay. So I'm a big believer of not overly focusing on symptoms. So I'm going to be strategic the way I say this because what we say, we manifest. But basically in 2020, I went with my partner at the time on 2 back-to-back flights from Panama, humanitarian flights to Canada. And by the time I landed in the States in between my 2 flights, I was already disoriented and confused, like I'd been like roofied or drugged. By the time I landed in Canada, I was like almost died basically. So it was just really, really, really high dose graphene poisoning basically is like what I've come to figure out. I share a lot more about it in my platform, but basically it's like what people are getting injected with, except times like 200. So the poison's really like in the dose, and I got really, really lucky, like knowing what I know about detox, I was able to not only survive, but clearly I'm like fine now, except for EMF sensitivity in a specific bandwidth frequency, which is like really annoying. So I want to get that stuff out. And so, yeah, I mean, at this point, the entire world has pretty much been intoxicated with the same thing. So that's why a protocol like this is so important. It's going to ultimately clean and reset the human body to get all of these synthetics out. So I actually think what happened to me was kind of like, in a really strange sense, a gift to humanity and also a gift to me because it allowed me to physically feel the agenda of what's happening in the world, like step by step as it was rolling out, in a way that really a lot of people I don't think feel or notice. So it was like, it really took me down the rabbit hole of understanding exactly what's happening globally and how and what their plan is and how to implement it and how successful it could be and how important it is to detox and counter that stuff with natural healing modalities. So yeah, that's kind of, but yeah, really crippling EMF sensitivity, I would say is like the biggest. But like the same as what most people are having, like wasn't able to sleep, like totally cracked out, couldn't think straight, like can't text, literally like wasn't able to read an email. Like I was like brain damaged for 6 months. Like it was really bad. I'm obviously way better now and have been for like years. So, but yeah, I'm kind of fed up of like living off grid and I want the option to be able to go in the city and travel and like sleep in hotels and do all the normal stuff. So that's why I want to do this detox. From airplane, yes, it was from airplane fogging, but people are getting it from like everything today. It's everywhere, you know. What are my opinions on stem cell therapy? So I'm not the biggest fan of stem cell therapy, and my best friend works for a stem cell company. So please, Sarah, don't hate me. But yeah, I'm not really a big fan of like medical grade or injectable stem cells. I am a fan of stem cell therapy in the form of urotherapy, which is urine therapy. So I think that if we really want stem cells, we should take our own pee, because our own blood is very depleting. Like, I don't recommend people take their own blood and like cycle it through stem cells and all that. Like, I think we should leave our blood where it is. But our urine also has our stem cells. And if you age your urine and take it like a homeopathic remedy or use it externally on your skin, on your feet, whatever it is, you can get a lot of the benefits of stem cell therapy. So I don't actually believe in like stem cell therapy the way that people are spending like 20K to get injected with stuff. And I especially don't agree with stem cell therapy that isn't even from your own body. So like foreign or external or synthetic stem cells or laboratory grown like peptides and stem cells and stuff. Like, I'm really like natural, holistic, all about doing it with our own body. I know not everyone will agree with that, but that's kind of my stance and my vibe on it. So yeah, if you're into stem cell therapy, look into urine therapy. You can actually look up Dr. Edward Group or John Otto or a girl called Gloria Charlein, Sharlein. Trying to think of who else. There's like a few other people that are really good with that stuff, but look up urotherapy and how people are healing themselves from like graphene poisoning, nanotech, heavy metal poisoning with their own stem cells, literally from their own urine, which is free and follows you around. So anyway, check that out. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, it's so nice to actually be live with you guys. Oh, I haven't done like a live in forever. My God. I have my electrolyte water here. Okay. It's like hot season where I'm living in Mexico, so you got to stay hydrated, especially on a detox. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, benefiting us. I got to save my teeth because of you. Oh, I love that. I'm so happy to hear. Yeah, especially with like dental stuff. I know it's really stressful. I've had a lot of weird dental stuff myself. So it's always nice when you can kind of like save your shiny peepers, you know? Thank you for your videos. Dr. Group is a G. I know, I love him. He's so good. I've been recommending his products for a long time, actually, like detoxidine. I mean, I'm big on transdermal iodine now, but detoxidine is really good for like nascent iodine. He's pretty solid, his products and stuff too. And I'm not a big product pusher, but Visionary channel on Odyssey goes into what's going on with nanotech. Yes, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I'm excited to see you live. I suffer from halitosis. It's very embarrassing. I believe it's coming from my stomach. What do you recommend? Okay, halitosis, you need a mucoid plaque detox. Halitosis is basically, yes, it's infection in the stomach, but it's also the small intestine is just filled with like an infection. Basically, it's like really bad SIBO. The first thing that you might want to do, it's like really hard to give generalized recommendations. I literally don't know anything about you. So make sure you do research, make sure this is safe. Like your electrolytes have to be in order. Your diet has to be pretty good to do this. But the first thing I would do is like a mucoid plaque detox and then some kind of like SIBO management protocol. So for mucoid plaque, you want to, there's a few options. Some people do juice fast. I personally, to get mine out recently in my experiment, I chose to do like carnivore instead. I'm not carnivore. You guys know I was like vegan for 11 years. I'm not a carnivore, but I didn't want to fast because I'm already skinny, and juicing for me just makes me hungry and miserable. So I would rather eat like 2 meals. Basically, I wanted there to be no fiber in my gut except for the binding agent that pulls the mucoid plaque off. So your options for that are fasting, juicing, or doing carnivore with 0 fiber and like oil and fat and stuff like that. So for me, for like food wise, because I wanted to still eat, I basically ate carnivore. So you can do that for a mucoid plaque detox. If you have really bad like hydrogen sulfide issues, you might struggle a bit more with carnivore, but you could do more like juicing or something. But anyway, mucoid plaque detox, very simple. You want to do liquid bentonite clay, 1 or 2 tablespoons with 1 or 2 tablespoons, I would say 1 tablespoon of organic psyllium husk fiber, ideally the powdered version, or you can like grind it yourself with a coffee grinder or something if you get the whole husks. And you're going to do that 5 times a day. So you're basically going to drink bentonite and psyllium. You can add charcoal if you want in like 16 ounces of water, like something like this. Give it a shake, drink it on an empty stomach or away from meals 5 times a day. You can do that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It took me about a month to get out all my mucoid plaque, but I'd never done a mucoid plaque cleanse before, and I was eating so much like food. So depending on, if you're fasting, you could probably get it out faster, that kind of thing. Make sure to have enough salt and electrolytes in your diet, because these are binders. Bentonite clay is going to pull out your electrolytes. So just remember that. But clean out your mucoid plaque. There's also a lot of videos of people, if you look up mucoid plaque on YouTube, detox that out. Once you detox that out, focus on your stomach acid with apple cider vinegar or HCl. Eat a lot more green vegetables. Do green juices like celery, will help a lot with halitosis. Make sure you're doing oil pulling to clean any bacteria in the mouth. That will help, but it's really coming from the intestines. So cleaning that out. And then as soon as you're done the mucoid plaque detox, reculture your gut. So sauerkraut, beet kvass, coconut kefir, raw goat kefir, sour raw goat milk, sour raw regular milk, if you can tolerate that and you're not dairy intolerant. But yeah, culture your gut, get that lactobacilli back in, and kill off some of that like SIBO, and get your stomach acid in check, and make sure you're eating a super clean diet, lower sugar ideally. If you're plant-based, that would look more like Hippocrates style, green vegetables, like lentils, this kind of thing. And if you are not vegan, then it would include animal protein and stuff too. But you're thinking like a meal based on like protein, complex carbs, vegetables, green vegetables mostly, and like healthy fats. And that will help with rebalancing your gut afterwards. Let me see. What other questions do I have? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm like so bad at reading like the comments on the slide. Also, I don't even know, I'm using my super old laptop, so it's possible the video quality is really bad, but I'm sorry about that, you guys. Okay, top weight loss protocol to lose 60 pounds. So there's a lot of reasons why people gain weight. And I have been a person who has gained and lost weight many times. You guys probably remember just from my channel, like just over many years. Like I had periods of time where I was hypothyroid, I couldn't lose a pound. There were periods of time where I was like so skinny and it made no sense. So it just like, there are a lot of ways to lose weight. I'm going to give a protocol, don't worry. But not everybody will see success doing the exact same thing for weight loss, but there's a few things that are pretty standard all around. The number one most important thing is your gut bacteria. So if you have a really good gut microbiome with the right types of bacteria, you will be able to eat and eat and eat, and you'll be thin. And you'll digest and process food in a clean, healthy, non-toxic way. Your body won't have to store fat or store toxins, or your liver won't get damaged from like the dysbiosis gut problem that is, at the root of why people gain weight to begin with. So fixing your gut microbiome, like drinking goat milk kefir. I'm always preaching fermented food, but like seriously, beet kvass, fermented food, sauerkraut, homemade pickles and pickle juice, apple cider vinegar, like just doing more fermented food is going to help you lose weight, because it's going to put back in that lactobacilli. It's going to put back in the good types of bacteria that help digest food properly, so that you're not like having weird insulin spikes and responding in like a toxic way, right, to the food you're eating. A lot of the reason we gain weight is because we're reacting in a toxic way to the food we're eating, because our gut microbiome is not optimal. We're like putrefying the protein, we're fermenting the carbs, like our liver is getting all like gunky. If we have too much fungus in the body or the gut, the blood sugar is going to go sky high. The insulin response is going to be like abnormal. And we'll be hungry all the time. We'll have sugar cravings. Our gut microbiome drives what foods we crave. So that's a really big aspect too. Like I know if I just eat like sugary pancakes for a week, I'll start to unbalance my gut microbes to a point where like I'm never in the mood for a salad, but if I start eating clean and I cut down on sugar and stuff, the microbiome like gets better, and fermented food really helps to like get you over that hump. So the first thing is fermented food. The next thing for weight loss is stabilizing blood sugar. Like this is a really, really big one. I personally found that now this is not to say that you have to stop being a vegan to lose weight. A lot of vegans are very thin. I myself had periods of time where I was vegan, and then I'm not vegan anymore by choice. But I personally found for me that I got thinner, found it way easier to maintain a lower body fat percentage while eating way more food, just by incorporating more protein and like animal protein in my diet. When I was like high carb vegan and like stuffing my face with bananas all day, I was just like chubby and always hungry and like unstable blood sugars, and my skin was not as good and all that stuff. So you don't have to eat animal products. You can also be plant-based, but you want to do things like beans and like higher protein foods, mix with green vegetables, keep it like kind of alkaline if you can. You don't have to. You can play with your own gut microbiome and what works for you. But yeah, stabilizing blood sugar. Like I would say 2 meals a day, stabilize blood sugar, walk 10K steps if you're in the capacity to do it, or work your way up to doing that a day, which is about an hour and a half of like walking at a normal, non-stressful pace. And yeah, keep like stress low, go to bed early, wear blue blocker glasses, like eat in a way that you love your food, eat enough food, like don't undereat. If you want to be thin, you have to eat enough, but you have to not be like gorging on food. So it's like, it's learning your body's signals. So eating meals that satiate you, that are based on protein, fat, and fiber, and a little bit of carbs to like keep you balanced, like some rice or quinoa or whatever it is, or like some potato with it, and you'll just find balance. Like, so yeah, I would say weight loss is like easier than people realize, but like walking instead of hardcore exercise helps a lot, especially for women. Drinking enough water, like when I'm not drinking enough water in a day, and I'm dehydrated, I'm just like snacking all the time. Like I'm more hungry. And when I'm drinking enough water, you're just like, you eat your meals and then you're like full of water. You know what I mean? So you're like, until you're actually hungry, you're not mistaking hunger for thirst. You look extremely thin in an unhealthy way. Are you sick? Guys, nobody watched the beginning of this video and nobody follows me on freaking Instagram. So first of all, like, I appreciate the love and concern. I know this is coming from like a nice, sweet place. I'm not sick. I'm literally doing a detox protocol. So yes, in this moment, I'm thin. I was actually even thinner before. I'm starting the rebuilding phase. I just did a mucoid plaque detox where I drank 5 binder shakes a day for like 5 weeks. So yeah, I was like eating, but not really like absorbing as much of it because I was on a detoxification protocol, because I'm testing how to help detox all the horrible things that have happened to humanity, and I'm doing it for you guys. So you can thank me for being so thin and looking a little bit like a wet rat for a few months, so that I can bring to you guys, hopefully, the best and most powerful protocol for rebirthing and regenerating every single cell in your body. So I'm doing this with the love of humanity. Don't worry, I'm not like anorexic. Okay, so thank you for answering my question. I'll try it. Amazing. I just want to get rid of this HSV1. The doctors say is incurable. So nothing is incurable. Nothing is incurable. Doctors always say that when they don't understand how the body works, right? So the body is always working to heal itself. HSV1, so viruses don't exist. It's more of like a mycoplasma issue, and it gets out cultured by having a diverse microbiome. So it doesn't matter if you have chronic strep, if you have herpes, it doesn't matter if you have HIV, it doesn't matter if you have Epstein-Barr virus, it doesn't matter if you have, I don't know, P. acnes in your skin and you have pimples, it doesn't matter if you have like, you know, rosacea and you have certain types of fungus, or if you have, like, it doesn't really matter if you have H. pylori overgrowth, or, you know, I don't know, blastocystis hominis or giardia. Whatever it is that's overgrown in your body, whether it's herpes or anything else, is only overgrown because the competitor bacteria or the competitor fungus or the diversity of microbiome that would normally keep it in check is not there. So you have a lack of diversity. And whatever infection you particularly have, like HSV1, for instance, is only manifesting in your body for 2 reasons. You don't have the microbiome that is able to keep it in check. So this one little guy overgrew in your body. Other people, it's different things like candida or whatever else. This happened to be dominant. And number 2, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your lifestyle habits, and your emotional state is in vibrational match to that infection. For HSV, you're dealing with things like regret. You're dealing with things like shame. You're dealing with things like guilt. I don't know what or why is the cause for you specifically, or if that even resonates with you, but somewhere inside the psyche and the energy field is the vibrational resonant match of those emotional states. So if like a person, let's say, who has cancer has a lot of anger and fear, those are the energy emotions, like the oscillation between those two that are linked a lot with cancers, for instance. So looking at like, you know, if you feel guilt or shame or bad about yourself, like the narrative you tell yourself, is there sexual shame? Is there emotional shame? Is there like, you know, do you feel guilty and have to do too much for your family? Do you not have enough time for yourself? Is your life balanced? Are you happy? All those things are going to help a lot. I actually have in my ebook that's actually for Black Friday. If you guys weren't here at the beginning, I have an amazing Black Friday launch going on for my new pet course and all the products in the Wevolve shop, including Fully Ascended, which is my ebook on biohacking your body through frequencies, understanding the vibrational frequency, the actual like measured frequency of all the different emotions, of all the different diseases, of the different organ structures of the body, and of our different lifestyle choices and foods and stuff. So if you, for instance, are a person who deals a lot with guilt, you can see like what vibrational frequency match that is, and which diseases like go with that. And you can use essential oils and different other hacks that I have in that book to like manipulate your frequency to get out of the resonant frequency of whatever disease you have. So for example, like a healthy human body is at a vibrational range of like 68 to 72. And if you have candida, you're like at 55. If you have cancer, you're at 42. So if you know, and death is like 25. So if you want to raise your frequency, I like share all the details on how to do that in Fully Ascended. And it's 40% off for 4 days for Black Friday. So check that information down below if you guys are interested. So yes, let's see. What about HS and can't have yeast? So if you have a yeast problem, a fungal overgrowth, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about like metaphysical in this video. I think a lot of people maybe on here haven't seen my, like in the last year or two, my videos in the Wevolve tribe. Every week I share a video on Wednesdays where I talk more about emotional, spiritual, metaphysical like aspects to disease, like really what I've learned about disease since my YouTube days, and all the like new knowledge and stuff that I've had that I've been sharing. But I'm going to kind of like touch a little bit base. If we're dealing with fungal issues of any kind, like yeast sensitivity, you can't consume yeast, or histamine problems, or just like mold issues or whatever it is happening in the body, one of the main things that's happening is a lack of personal self-care. And I don't mean like you don't shower, you don't brush your teeth, you don't like eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You might have a relatively good self-care. I mean like real self-care, like nourishing your soul at the deepest level. I battled on and off with fungal issues in my life, and it always happens when I am not taking care of my soul, when I'm not living at a match with like what really fuels me and makes me happy, when I'm doing too much for other people, when I'm doing like, when I'm, you know, answering all my messages because like people need stuff from me, and when I'm living in an unbalanced way where I'm not like chasing my bliss and enjoying my passion projects and like having like a really fun, exciting life. It always happens when I'm like, you know, going through life in the motions and like doing all the things right that I'm supposed to be doing, but there's like a lack of genuine love for like my life and my existence. That like passion for living is not really there. So with yeast issues, I don't know if you guys know of that experiment. I think I've like talked about it in other videos, but basically there's like the rice experiment where there was 3 different portions of rice in the same water, like 3 different ones, same water, same rice, same medium, same environment, everything the same. They had different people go up every day for like 10 days. Don't quote me on this. It might have been shorter or longer, I don't know. But the concept was that like one of the rice bottles was being given insults, one of the rice bottles was being given compliments, and one of the rice bottles was just being ignored. Well, the one that was being given insults had a lot of putrefactive, nasty bacteria in it. So you could think like SIBO kind of conditions in the body, like lots of like nasty infections, like dirty bacteria, like sewagey style parasites and stuff. The one that was being given compliments was just like fermented and fizzy and effervescent, kind of like an alcohol. It made like sort of a totally like clean, healthy ferment. And the one that was being ignored had a massive fungal overgrowth. So when we're ignoring ourself and our needs and our soul, we're going to have a candida overgrowth in our body. And it's not just because of antibiotics. Why did we get sick with infection to begin with that led us to need antibiotics? It was lack of self-care, lack of happiness. I asked a girl, I was literally, so I have this neighbor couple. They're super sweet and they're like partiers. And every time I see them, they have like Coca-Cola and just like wine bottles, and they're like glowing and healthy and thriving and both doing super well all the time. And yet their lifestyle is like they both smoke. I'm thinking to myself, they both look amazing. Like their skin is like awesome. I'm just like, how are you just like so healthy? And literally you live like the epitome of a bad lifestyle. And I asked the girl, and I already knew what her answer was going to be, but I felt compelled to ask her anyways yesterday. And I saw her and I was like, man, every time I see you, you look amazing. And she was like, I'm really happy. I enjoy my life. And I was like, oh, come on, tell me the truth. What are you eating? And she was like, no, really, like I do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, my boyfriend too, but we love life. Like we go to the beach. When I have a cigarette, I really enjoy it. You know, when I eat my pizza, I really enjoy it. Like I take the time to like nap and siesta. We take the time to like build passion in our relationship. We take the time to do things that we love every single day. Like we only go to the gym when we feel like it. Like they live in accordance with like their true heart and soul alignment. And the result is that they have really good health, and they do a lot of things that would like kill your microbiome and would otherwise make you really unhealthy. And yet they're doing so much better than like family members of mine who are really holistic and know stuff, and friends of mine who are always like me, like stressed and worried about all the problems of the world, and their health is like never perfect, you know? So it's like, it really has a lot to do with our emotional state. So for like histamine sensitivity and yeast problems, like get in touch with loving yourself, like love yourself fiercely. If you raise your vibrational frequency out of the 55 like hertz range, you're not going to be you won't have candida. So it's really all about frequency here and like our emotions and stuff. Of course, if you culture your gut, you'll outcompete the fungus. So from like a physical 3D standpoint, culturing your gut, eating like lower glycemic, more green vegetables, staying away from sugars, starches, that kind of thing will help also. Okay, I juice apples and get blueberries and cooked ferrite. Okay. I love apple juice. Oh my God, fresh apple juice is so good. Like with Pink Lady or what are they? Honey crisp apples. You know, that's what I miss about Canada. I haven't been back in years. I'm like living in Mexico now, but I really miss like apple picking in like the Pink Lady or Honey crisp season, which would be like, I think October or something. I miss that so much about Canada. Cooked carrots and goat ghee. Very good. I can't introduce new foods without feeling poisoned or a huge gut reaction paralysis. Okay. So I know what that's like. I've had stuff like that too. When we have gut problems for a long time, we end up developing a neurosis where we believe that every food is bad for us. And once we have the belief that every food is bad for us, the body responds by reacting that way. So there's two things going on. A gut that has really low diversity, like really, really low, and I've been there, I understand how awfully annoying that is. It means you can't tolerate a lot of food because you're missing the bacteria that breaks down all those different types of food. So when you eat those foods, your body can't break it down. When you can't break something down, it creates inflammation, right? Your body's trying, but it doesn't have the bacteria or the bacteria that make the enzymes to be able to digest or process that food or that fiber. So your body just gets like inflamed and tries to dilute it by making you like bloated and pooling water in your intestines and giving you diarrhea, undigested food in your stool, and you know all the other symptoms of like dysbiosis basically. So fermented food is going to help, especially the milky ferments. Like if you don't know where to start, things like coconut kefir, raw milk kefir, goat kefir, if you tolerate it, made with like homemade milk kefir grains, that will start to put in like the bacteria that is missing out of your gut and make you able to tolerate more food. So even if you just like keep it an elemental diet of like the basic, like white rice and banana, if that's all you tolerate, or pick one or two foods that you tolerate, it might be like ground beef and rice or whatever. And then just eat that and kefir, and just kefir and sauerkraut juice and kefir and sauerkraut juice, and increase more and more that until you start to no longer react to like the 2 foods you chose. And then you add 1 food at a time after like a week or something. And then, you see how you react with that. Just really small amounts of the food. But yeah, it's really important to culture the gut. Like there are people who have horrible Crohn's disease, like horrible gut problems, like terrible, like blood oozing, colitis. And then they go on kefir, even coconut kefir, if they don't tolerate dairy. And after like a few days, their bowel movements get like normal. Like they come out of a flare. Like good bacteria really does help our gut work normally and produce like butyrate, which like heals your gut lining and helps to break down and digest foods properly. So don't just like be upset or frustrated with your gut at not being able to tolerate all these foods. Just start adding in fermented food and tell yourself with every bite of food that it's like healing for you. Start to reframe the way you view food and start to see it as something that's really nourishing and healing and like amazingly good for your body. That will make it actually like react in a really beautiful way in your body as well. Our mindset's so important. I'm so hungry. That's so cute. Go eat something. If you're hungry, go eat. Go have some chicken soup. Are you into astrology? What is your sun, moon, and rising? Yes, I'm super into astrology. I'm like, my friends call me hippie. I'm really, really, really into that. I'm into like tarot, astrology, oracles, like just a lot of that kind of stuff. Spiritual stuff in general, not like new age, like, tacky faux spirituality, but like really genuine connection to like our soul purpose. And the planet and the cosmos and all of that. So my sun, I'm a Leo sun, Gemini rising, Sag moon, and I'm like double conjunct all 3. So I have like Leo, Sag, and like I think I'm like Aries North Node or something. I don't know. I forget all of it. But I have like double Leo, I'm like 95% fire and 5% air with no water and no earth. So yeah, I'm a bit ungrounded, and my emotions can be like, ooh, very fiery. So I got to work on that personally, working on it. Thanks for explaining why you're looking thin. I was worried about you because you normally look extremely vibrant, healthy, and glowing. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. So I don't look freaking vibrant and healthy and glowing, even skinny. Yeah, I'm doing a detox. I know this year has not been my best year anyways. There's been a lot of stuff. I think a lot of people can probably relate to this. But like 2023 is that sort of hump year that is moving us into the new earth, away from what hasn't been serving us. But it's been really hard. Like, I don't know how you guys feel with that, but like I've had a really difficult year emotionally, just a lot of stuff, like family stuff, interpersonal relationship stuff, like old traumas and things coming out, just difficult life circumstances, like dark shadow work. Like it's been a really challenging year. A lot of beautiful things have happened too, but it's definitely not been like the best year I've ever had. That's for sure. Things are definitely getting better now. But yeah, I totally hear you. So if I'm not as vibrant as I normally am, I'm hoping to get back there. Thank you so much. Let me see. Oh, I thought you're so cute. I need to introduce more good bacteria strains into my body. Yes, I'm telling you, it makes such a difference. Like bacteria is our life force. I notice a huge difference when I drink kefir. I make my own. I don't love kefir, I'll be honest with you guys. Like taste wise, I'm like, your girl likes raw cheese, but I'm not into kefir as much, but I try to drink it, especially goat kefir. It's so good. When I do drink it regularly, I notice a huge difference. Like I feel amazing compared to when I don't do fermented food. Like it makes a difference. There was like I would say like 2021, 2022 were really like indulgent years for me. I found this like place down the street with my girlfriend, and we were just having like, frappuccinos all the time and just like pancakes. And it was just really like not the best like dietary like health years for me. I was just like busy focusing on passion projects, and like food was kind of just like by the wayside. I was eating okay, but like not the best ever. And yeah, I really noticed a difference, when I started like not eating fermented food anymore and not eating as clean and just eating like tons and tons of takeout restaurant food, to the point where I was literally sustaining the restaurant. Like when I stopped eating there and started cooking at home again, the restaurant closed. Like they actually went like bankrupt because I was like wholeheartedly supporting them by eating there like 3 times a day for like 2 years. I feel so bad. But anyway, I like couldn't afford it anymore. And my health was just like, enough pancakes, eat some real food. But anyways, it was definitely like a good time. But yeah, it makes a huge difference when you eat fermented food is basically what I'm trying to say. When you eat like restaurant stuff all the time and your gut biome like suffers a little bit, you feel so much better when you just put that good bacteria back in. Yes, we are mostly water. We don't realize how we poison our stream every day. Totally, totally. Honey crisp. Yeah, honey crisp apples are so good. Okay, so histamine intolerance, you can't do kefir. Start really small. Start with like 2 drops under your tongue, or start with sauerkraut juice, or start with coconut kefir because coconut kefir is lower histamine in general, and start with sour milk. So maybe don't do kefir, which is very high histamine, but just get like raw goat milk if you can find it, and then let it go sour for like 1 or 2 days on your countertop. It won't go bad. And then just take a few drops of that under your tongue. There's over 200 types of good bacteria in there, and you will ferment out all the lactose, so you won't get like diarrhea and stuff. And you just start really small, and you add a little bit of that to smoothies and stuff, and just slowly start, like just 2 drops of sour milk, for instance, or of kefir, can actually be way better than like a whole bottle of probiotics. So you can actually get quite a bit of mileage without having to consume a huge amount of kefir. But if you can work your way up to higher amounts of kefir, like as your body gets more used to it, then the ideal dosage is like 2 to 3 cups a day of kefir to really fix your gut. You know, after like, it takes like 4 to 6 months, but if you consistently do that for 4 to 6 months, you'll have a totally different biome. Like it'll be amazing. How to get rid of recurring UTIs? Yes, so brutal, such a pain in the ass. Recurring UTIs happen a lot when there's too much proteolytic bacteria happening in the small intestine, usually like in the form of SIBO, or certain parasites that live in like the ileum, which is the lower part of the small intestine, like Giardia, Blastocystis hominis, roundworms, and like a few other types that are really specific to causing UTIs. But basically, like you have too much Gardnerella, not enough Lactobacillus, too much like E. coli, too much Enterococcus, too much strep in your vaginal flora, and that's happening because you have too much of this proteolytic bacteria in your small intestine. So like hydrogen sulfide SIBO is really common in people that have bladder problems. So cleaning out the small intestine will be good. Like a lower sulfur, lower histamine diet can help a lot with UTIs. And also culturing. Like one of the best, actually, if you guys look up, I mean, this is so long ago that I read this now. I'm like, I don't even know if it's still up. But if you Google literally just like interstitial cystitis, which is just bladder infection left untreated forever that goes autoimmune. So it's way worse than a UTI. So this will work for UTI even better. But if you just look up that online with, I think it was like milk kefir, there was a girl who, don't quote me on this, literally it's so long ago that I read this, but give or take, I think it's probably still up there. But if you look up like how I cured my interstitial cystitis with kefir, you'll find a story of a girl. I'm pretty sure she was eating like chicken, quinoa, and broccoli or something, and drinking like 3 or 4 shakes of milk kefir a day. I forget if she put like whey protein or flax seeds. I don't even know how I would remember this, but something like that. If I'm accurate with that, I want to know. Okay. No. But yeah, so, and I think in 4 months, her interstitial cystitis was just gone. She just cultured it right out of her body. And that's a lot more serious than a UTI. So in 1 to 3 months, you can get rid of chronic UTIs if you've had them forever by just doing high dose milk kefir. Also, like vaginal douches, be very careful with this, with food grade hydrogen peroxide, obviously really low dose, very diluted, be very careful. But you really have to reculture like good bacteria, right? And then of course there's things like demonose, and berberine is amazing for like killing the infection, but you're just going to keep getting them back if you don't have the good bacteria that like keeps your bladder biome, your gut biome, and your vaginal biome in check. So that really needs to be what's the main focus. I would just like, some people even do like vaginal kefir and stuff like that, and it helps like right away for them. So try that and see how that goes. I know UTIs are like a pain in the ass. I've been a huge foundation for health and wellness. That's so sweet. Do I speak a second language? I do. I speak French fluently. I'm from Quebec, so I'm a French Canadian. Technically, I'm English, but I also speak French. And I speak a little bit of broken Spanish, enough to get by. People understand me. Is my Spanish amazing? Absolutely not, but I'm learning. I'm trying. After drops under the tongue, how do you know how fast or slow to go. If you don't have symptoms, if you do 5 drops under your tongue and you don't notice anything, then tomorrow add 6. And if you don't notice anything, the next day add 7. And if you don't notice anything, try 10. And if, like that, I would do something like that. I'm a person who does things very quickly and very excessively. It's not the best part of my personality for sure, but I am that kind of person. So like if I do a spoon of something and I'm fine, I'll just do like 2 or 3 spoons tomorrow. And if I feel bad, then I'll just go back to like what I was doing and cut in half or whatever. But I'm okay with like flaring or having symptoms and reactions. Like I'm pretty good with like having stuff happen in my body, just maybe from many years of always having like stuff and always doing experiments on my body. I'm kind of always like pushing the limits a little bit. It's not like dangerous to do that, obviously you want to be safe and balanced, but if you really want to like avoid symptoms, if you're one of those people who, if you go into some kind of flare, you're going to be like miserable and you'll be so depressed and you won't be able to handle it, then go really slow, like 1 drop at a time, and just build up. Even if it takes you 1 to 2 months to build up to like a cup, that's awesome. Like just give your body that time. Time goes by anyways, right? So I don't have my right hand available. After getting Lyme, my doctor put me on antibiotics for 14 days, after which I stopped getting my period. Could this have been due to antibiotics or Lyme itself? How can I get it back? Probably the antibiotic. Remember, a period is a sign of health and fertility, and antibiotics are called anti-life. Like biotic is life, so they're anti-life. So they are going to definitely decrease your fertility and decrease your ability to extract nutrients from your food because it kills your biome. And they're just freaking toxic, man. Like antibiotics are really not good for you guys. Antibiotics are the devil. Not today, Satan, not today. So yeah, antibiotics are super gross. I would definitely say that it's that and not the Lyme itself that is the problem. But don't worry, I've taken a lot of antibiotics in my life too. You can rebuild, get on kefir, get on fermented food, but stop. We need to stop the approach of antibiotics and trying to kill infections. Like if something overgrew in your body, Lyme or anything else, if you have like an overgrowth of something, it's because you have a lack of everything else. Like it's not that you need to go in and kill all the Lyme. Like where's everything else? Like where's all the other stuff that makes Lyme usually like keep one small little corner and stay in its place? Like why was Lyme able to just totally freaking dominate your system? Because you have a lack of diversity. So an antibiotic is like, it's like giving you the same problem, but bigger. It's like, hey, you don't have diversity. Let's further undiversify you even more and make whatever you do have left fight really hard to survive this next like nasty antibiotic bomb. And then like, it's just, yeah, it's like the season of antibiotics is over. It's been over for like 50 years. It's outdated approach to health. We need to start recognizing that what gets rid of infection is competing bacteria and reestablishing a healthy biome terrain. And this loving approach for the body is what's going to cure all these people of all these infections and make the biggest difference. So yeah, I'm so sorry that happened. That sucks. Your period will come back when you're in better health, and you're gonna have to rebuild your biome for that. And it'll also cure your Lyme. So yay, double bonus. I hate how slow it is. I just want to be normal. 15 years of chronic illness and no, life is horrible. Yes, but stop telling yourself that. Stop telling yourself that you have chronic illness. Don't be attached to 15 years. None of it exists. Nothing before today exists. And if you tell yourself you're sick, you will keep creating sickness in your life. You are healthy. You are healthy today. You are moving towards health every single day. You are making good choices for your health. And it's just really powerful. So yeah. Positivity, it'll make a big difference. Whatever happened before today doesn't exist anymore. We create our reality. Our mind is really powerful, and we can either cast a spell to create heaven on earth for ourselves, or we can cast a spell to create hell on earth for ourselves. And it has to do with what we tell ourselves and the storylines that we choose to attach to and to believe in. You're not sick. You just need to boost your biome. You don't have a chronic illness. You just need a little bit more love. That's all. Your body needs a little bit more love. And your body needs to be told that it's healthy, because the more we tell ourselves that we're sick, the more sickness will just pervade in our system. And that's not ideal. So, and I know it's so easy to do that. Trust me. I was like, had chronic illness my whole life too. And I was so attached to this like sick body of mine that I didn't even know how to be healthy. Like I didn't even feel it was possible. Like, and people would tell me like, oh, mindset. And I would be like, shut the F up. I'd be like, you tried burning alive on the inside. Like, you don't even know. So we can get really attached with like our ego and our life experience and our 3D reality to our physical experience. But the truth is that whatever we say is what we're creating for the next like 3 months. So tell yourself what you want to experience, not what you are experiencing. And it's going to sound like tacky, like law of attraction, but look up law of assumption. It's better than law of attraction. It's like you just assume the reality that you want, you hold that belief system, you hold that vibrational frequency, and everything in your body that isn't a match just dies off and stuff just finds balance again. So like I remember, I'll give an example. There were periods of time in my life where I told myself like I was trying to quit smoking, and I was like, oh, it's so hard to quit. Like, it's going to be so hard. Like, I'm never going to be able to quit. Like, life is just going to suck. I'm going to smoke forever. Like, ugh, I'm gonna, like one of the most addicted people in the world. Like, I told myself all that negative, like spell work, right? And I was never able to quit. I smoked for 9 years and I was like 2 packs a day and living on an asthma pump and so sick and like wheezing with pneumonia every 5 minutes and just like really bad. And then one day I read this book, and the book was basically reframed the way we look at smoking. Instead of like some awesome thing that we get to choose to do, it's like reframing it as like we're like a total slave to something absolutely disgusting, and we're just like freezing outside in the winter, like having a cigarette thinking we have free will, but really we're just slaves. And I started to see it as kind of like this gross like enslavement that I just didn't want anymore for myself. And once I stopped seeing it as this amazing thing I was giving up, I no longer was like, oh, I won't be able to like have sangria and cigarettes on the terrace. I was like, why would I ever want to spend money to smoke something disgusting, like, and be a slave? Why? I'm free, and people that smoke are still slaves. So instead of me envying people that still smoke, I'm not saying if you're a smoker, you're a slave, but that was like the way at the time, 20 years ago, I reframed it in my mind to stop idolizing people that were like allowed to go have a cigarette on their work break, you know? And it overnight it changed. And as soon as my belief about it changed, my desire for smoking went away. And I'm one of the only people I know that quit cold turkey after almost 10 years, from 2 packs a day to literally never a cigarette again. And I've never been tempted since. And it's now been like literally 15 years or something since I quit. I quit when I was 23. I'm 30. I'll be 38. So yeah, it's been a long time. So yeah, it's all about our mindset. And I remember when I was sick with IC, similar. I went from being like attached and hugging my disease and obsessed with it and obsessed with all my symptoms and just complaining about my bladder and making excuses about why I could never enjoy a single moment of my life ever because of my bladder and because of everything else I had going on and because of my acne and because of like all the other things that I was obsessed about my own suffering. And then one day to the next, I got so disgusted with myself that I was like, I can't be this pathetic loser. And if I only had 1 week left to live, I would just live it. And I don't care about my bladder anymore. And it is what it is. If I have to live like this, I just live like this, but I cannot be a loser and in pain. I have to at least be cool and in pain. Like, I'm just going to like own it like a boss. And then I stopped like focusing on it. And when friends invited me out, I started going, and I stopped eating so strict, and I started like living a life I liked, and I started doing things I enjoyed. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, I was like cured after 4 years of like gruelingly fighting this illness. It was just gone. Like, it just went away when I stopped focusing on it. And literally that's how the body works. Like, I know it's so annoying to hear that, and nobody wants to believe that they're like doing it to themselves, but when we realize we're doing it to ourselves, we can stop doing it and we can end up cured in like 6 months to a year, just with changing our mindset and disconnecting from the attachment to our illness. All right, you guys, I'm not going to stay too much longer. I'm going to stay another like 5 to 8 minutes or something. And then I also want to try to do an Instagram live this weekend too. So if you guys are not following me on Brittany_Wevolve Instagram, then definitely check that out, because I'll probably do a live there too. But let me answer a few more questions before I go. The Ropeworm Protocol Bible Human Essential Manual by Laura Roher. Yeah, I like her. I actually had her personally send me that information. She's super cool and really well researched. I tried it. I personally found a mucoid plaque detox for my body worked better than that. But essentially what she does, if I remember correctly, again, this was like many, many years ago, she basically makes fermented sauerkraut juice, like really strong, like a little bit of cabbage. She makes like fermented sauerkraut juice, and then you drink like a bunch of that stuff. And I think you take like mimosa pudica. Honestly, I really, the protocol is like a while away, like in my mind. So I don't remember all the details, but I think it's good. Like, I mean, if you want to try it, fermented food, I'm all about it. Having fermented cabbage is amazing for your gut and healing your gut lining. And there's no harm in it if you want to try it and it resonates with you and you're feeling called to it. Like it can be a really good option. So yeah, I'm all about like following your intuition. I have come to realize that it's never really about the protocol. It's about our belief in the protocol or the choices we're making or the diet we're making. Like I can heal on a keto diet. I can heal on a raw vegan fruitarian diet. I can heal on a fasting protocol, and I can heal on a hyper-nourishment overeating protocol if I believe in them. Whichever protocol, like the reason why carnivore works for some people is because it resonates with them and they believe in it and they do it and they stick to it and it works. Other people, it's like raw vegan and juicing. They just feel like they hit the holy grail and they just follow it until they're well. And they believe every bite they're taking that they're healing themselves. It's all about our mindset, right? Like there are people that believe that there's like a sweaty, oily Bible in like Utah or something. Don't quote me on the place. That if you just walk up to it, like, and a priest touches this like oily Bible and puts it on your forehead, like you're just cured, you know? And people are lining up to go get touched by this like oily Bible and they're getting cured. But guess what? Like, I don't know if I would believe that an oily Bible would cure me. Like, I believe that the choices I make every day cure me, and my mindset and my beliefs cure me. And, you know, the approach I take to life cures me. But if you believe that the oily Bible is going to cure you and you go there knowing that the second that oil touches your forehead, you're cured, you'll be cured. Like that's what spontaneous healing is. People believe in like Jesus heals them and stuff. The power of belief we are co-creating with the divine. It's beautiful. So yeah, you can make it that like Jesus heals you if you want. You can make it that a oily Bible heals you. You can make it that you heal you with your own thoughts. It doesn't really matter as long as you're believing in it and you're doing it from a place of love and light and alignment with yourself. So yeah, if you believe that that ropeworm protocol is like calling to you, it might be your miracle cure. Like try it out, you know? But if you're going to do it knowing that it'll be your cure, right? Make it work for you. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Yes, I love that. Let me see. I would like to study holistic nutrition. Any recommendations? There are a lot of online schools and a certificate degree is necessary to work in the field. This is a really good question. I actually covered this recently in the Wevolve Tribe in a weekly video where I talk about like my opinion on different schooling and how to become a coach and all that stuff. I think my sister took the Canadian School of Integrative Nutrition, Holistic Nutrition course or something like that. You guys can actually message her on Facebook if you want. Her name is Tiffany Auerbach. Or I can come back on a later point and share whatever. But anyway, there's like, she studied holistic nutrition in Canada. Maybe that it's a distance program. So maybe that's an option. I don't know a lot of holistic nutrition programs. Like I did a lot of online courses back in the day, but I also talk about how the majority of what I know about health was like working in the field and self-research and not necessarily what I learned from like an actual course. So yeah, it's like tough for me to say with concrete certainty, like which course you should take, but definitely look into one that you really believe in. And there'll always be the need to like do your own external research, right? Because I don't think any holistic nutrition course is like the be all, right? We all have limits in what we know about health and what we could share in like in a course or in a protocol. I eventually want to create a Wevolve certification protocol, but it's a ways away, where basically I teach people like how chronic illness works in the body and how to undo it, and the step-by-step protocol. Probably this new detox protocol that I am coming up with, when I share it for free with the world, I'll probably train people and then maybe hire people that I've trained in Wevolve to coach people through the protocol while they go through it till they see their healing results and stuff. But that's probably only going to happen in 2024. But I'll keep you guys posted on that. If you're interested in that, there will be business opportunities and job opportunities with Wevolve probably for that. Let me first nail this program and get there, and then share it, and then we'll move along. What is my diet like? What are my favorite health books? Oh my God. I'm actually reading such a good book now. It's not a health book though, but it's called The Spiritual Activator. It's all about activating your own psychic and spiritual gifts, like your own like clairaudience, clairsentience, inner knowing, intuition, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. It's not really a health book, but I would say it's been a while since I've read health books because I do a lot of research online. Like now I do more like large scale data analysis, which is going to sound really boring to you guys, but it's like my new form of research that I'm obsessed with, that I find really interesting. I spend a lot of time on like actually in medical literature, not because I believe in medical literature, but like I'll go into like NCBI and I'll study like all the bacteria and what they are sensitive to in terms of antimicrobials, like natural ones or essential oils, or I'll study like breakdown chemical byproducts and like chemistry and toxicology and understanding how the human body works with like what's happening with the world and the agenda. So I do a different style of research now versus reading like health-based books, but there's a lot of good ones. Like, I mean, these are really old books now, like books I read like 20 years ago. But if you really want to start somewhere with health books that to this day I still remember, like The 100-Year Lie is an amazing one. Like The 100-Year Lie just like blew my mind. That was like one of the first health books that I ever read. I loved it. I still think everybody on earth should read that. If you want to know about like the chemical industry and what's really going on and just like wake up to the knowing of like we need to get back to nature, that's a really, really powerful one. I mean, there's a lot, you guys. Like, I really, not to be biased, but like if you really want to know a lot about health, join the Wevolve tribe, even just for 1 month, $15, and then you can cancel. You can download everything in the resource vault, which is like $200 of free ebooks, just by joining 1 month, and then just like be on your merry way and have a lot of books to self-educate with. Like I literally made it almost free for people, like so you can get a huge amount of benefit and don't even have to stay that long. So do that. But also it's Black Friday now. If you want, check out the Wevolve shop and like Fully Ascended, Fully Fermented. If you want to know about health and how to get well, my book Fully Fermented, which is in the resource vault for tribe members or in my shop at 40% off for the next 4 days, will share with you step by step how to reculture your gut with all the recipes you need and exactly why, how, everything you need to know about fermented food, about culturing your gut, about changing your own microbiome. That one is like a game changer, like best ebook I ever made probably. And then Fully Ascended is so cool too. It's biohacking your frequency. That's really like between those two books, like you don't need a lot else. You know what I mean? But I do share a lot of info like in the Wevolve tribe, and I'm not tooting my own horn. Like there's epic stuff in there, like epic, like way cooler than was ever on YouTube. I know so much more now, especially about metaphysical stuff and spiritual stuff and really manipulating your body, like hacking your body to do what you want. Like it's really, really cool stuff. And a lot of stuff about like inner work, shadow work, boundaries, like just a lot more complete holistic living. So yeah, check that out if you guys want to learn more. Let's see. How much iodine daily? So I do transdermal iodine. I don't know if you guys can see my arms. But basically I do 5% Lugol's. I maybe put it on 2-3 times a week. I'm like a little bit more lazy. Sometimes I'll do it every day. I used to have a lot of thyroid problems. Now I just probably like, I just do it whenever. If you are doing nascent iodine, it's like 1 to 3 drops a day. If you're doing transdermal, just like paint it on your arms and whatever. You don't have to like overly calculate it. You can also do like dulse and kelp flakes, like 1/4 teaspoon of each a day would probably be good for iodine. If you eat seafood, that's good too. But I would still do transdermal iodine just to detox the halogens, the chemicals, the nano. Iodine is really a thyroid protective and in general, just heavy metal protective, which is really, really good. How old are you? I will be 38 soon this year. Well, not that soon, actually, in August. So I'm 37. You look so skinny. You don't look well. Yes, watch the beginning part of this video. I've covered this 3 times already, or 4 times. 3 times with 4 fingers. I'm doing a detox right now. I know I'm thin, but I'm testing it for you guys. So get excited. It will change your life. And you probably won't get as thin as me. I already was thin. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been skinny for a few years. So yeah, I just haven't been on YouTube in a while. I live in Mexico. We get nonstop parasites over here. It's pretty hard to keep the weight on, not gonna lie. Best time for probiotics and best brand. Fermented foods. Probiotics are kind of useless. If you're gonna get any probiotic, I would get one that has L-Gaceri, L-Rutai, Lactobacillus rhamnus, Casei. Like there's a few strains that are really good, but in general, I would just go for fermented food, like the kefirs, the sauerkraut, the beet kvass. That's what's going to make the biggest difference. All right. Am I still into turpentine? Okay, that's the last one I'm going to answer. Then I'm going to end this live. Am I still into turpentine? I still have a bunch at my house. I still take it sometimes. Do I still recommend it to people? Yes, sometimes turpentine can be really great. Our body naturally makes something that's very similar to suramin, which is like a natural detox component from pine needles, very similar to what is in turpentine. And we release it in our urine. So urotherapy is more powerful than turpentine for that, for internal self-healing and repair. But yes, turpentine is really good, but you want to get food grade, completely natural. You want to be very careful with it. It's super, super strong. And so, yeah, you just want to be really gentle with turpentine. But yeah, turpentine can be good, like doing, I don't know, a month or 6 weeks on it or something like that, just to really get rid of fungus and parasites. Like, but it's intense. Like every time I've ever taken it, I felt super bad. Like it was just really intense. So it's strong. Be very, very careful and make sure you're doing like good quality turpentine and really following like a proper protocol for it. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. I hope you take advantage of the Black Friday sale. I really hope that this helped everybody. I'm giving everybody lots of hugs and kisses, and I will talk to you soon.